What's up, YouTube? My name is Trent Wel-Don. Welcome back to my channel, Wel-Don Aquatics. So today I wanted to talk about something that I think a lot of us as hobbyists know, but a lot of new hobbyists don't think that they can do, or a dynamic of the hobby that we often don't even think about. And that is buying a second-hand tank. That's right, buying a used tank. So for a quick fun fact, weird fact, whatever you want to call it, fact about the tanks that I personally run right now that are up and running, water in them, every tank is secondhand. I don't have one brand new off-the-shelf stickers on it tank that I'm running right now. They're all secondhand. So with that, I wanted to take just a few minutes and talk about 5 tips that I personally have when you're looking at buying a secondhand tank or a used tank. So to start off with, the first tip I have, and this is something that I still do, look daily. Fortunately for me out here in Utah, I have a fantastic classifieds option that is widely known throughout the state. And there's an app for it on my phone. I can find it on the interweb. I mean, there's so many ways that I can find used tanks in Utah. But I look daily, and you have to sift through the junk to find the good ones. So don't give up. So tip number 1, look daily. Second tip I have for you guys is the price. Everybody wants way too much for these secondhand tanks, and let's be honest, we as humans, we're cheap, especially out here in Utah where I am. I'm cheap. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pay what you paid for that full price. I look at tanks like a used car, or a new car. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses value. The moment you take a tank off the shelf and walk it out of the store, it loses value to me. I don't know what you've done to it in your possession. I don't know how long it's been sitting in your garage. Most of the time, these tanks are people that buy it for their kid, they get bored with it, want to get rid of it. So haggle the price down. Learn the market for your tanks in your area and find a price that you think is fair. I'm not trying to be a jerk to some of these people, but I'll be straight up with you on price. I will often, when I contact them about the initial contact for the tank, I'll make an offer right then and there. I don't waste my time driving out and then starting negotiations. I mean, back to the car reference, I'm not buying a truck, I'm buying a tank, an aquarium. So I'll start my negotiation on price even before I go out and look at the tank. That can save you so much time, because all of a sudden you may text them, call them and say, hey, I'll give you $50. You have it posted for 100. I'll give you 50. No, I'm not doing it. You didn't just waste your time driving out there. So tip number 2, price. The third one I have, now this is where it's going to come into the structure of the tank. So my third tip for you is look at the seams and look at the bracing on the tank. So the seams of the tank, I mean the silicone that's actually holding the aquarium together, in particular if it's a glass tank. Check the seams out. Look for any discoloration. Are they yellow? Is it peeling? Is it missing silicone? Ask the owner, is it watertight? Most of the time they'll know. Sometimes you're gonna get the answer of, well, 3 years ago when it was set up, it held water without any issues. So it gives you a rough idea of, okay, last time this was set up, it held water. It gives me a starting point. Now in the bracing, look it over, run your hands over it, make sure it's still attached to the tank, top and bottom, if it's for a glass tank. Glass tanks will come with bracing. Make sure there's no cracks, no breaks. Most tanks that are 4 feet long will have a center brace, and anything over 4 feet on a glass aquarium will have a center brace. When you get up into like your 180s and 220s, you're gonna see double bracing up top. Check those out. That'll keep the tank from bowing and in the end exploding a seam out and put a lot of water on your floor. So that's my tip. Tip number 3, check the seams, check the bracing. Don't be afraid to kind of get in and dirty with it and really see if it's gonna work for you. Tip number 4, speaking of a dirty tank, my tip for you is do not be afraid of a dirty tank. Every tank that I have bought secondhand, I clean personally for a couple reasons. I like to know that it's done right. I like to know that it meets my standard of a tank. But I also don't know what the previous owner had in there. I don't know if they had sick fish, especially when they're dragging it out of the back garage or I'm carrying it upstairs and there's 3 inches of water in it still, and it just smells terrible. But don't be afraid of a dirty tank. Dirty tanks can be clean. My 75 gallon I have was a dirty tank. The 40 gallon I have was disgusting. It had so much algae caked onto it. But don't be afraid of a dirty tank, because a lot of them will clean up very nicely and people are gonna think it's a brand new tank. And with that dirty tank though, do take your time to check for any scratches on there, as you really don't want large scratches on your front viewing panel. If I find a scratch on the bottom panel, the back panel, there's ways around it. I don't see it, but I'm really looking at that front panel. But a lot of these tanks you're gonna go find secondhand, they're dirty. Because people don't know how to maintain their tank and they forget them. So, but tip number 4 is don't be afraid of a dirty tank, because that's how sometimes you're gonna find your best deals on a secondhand aquarium. Now my last tip for you, tip number 5, is do not settle. If you know of a specific tank you're looking for, don't settle. Don't think, oh, I specifically want a 120 gallon tank, and all of a sudden a 90 gallon tank comes up on the internet. Don't settle. Hang out for what you truly want. Now, if you find something you think you can make work, and okay, if you want to make a compromise, 120 to a 90, that's your decision. But if you have something that you are hunting, get on your Facebook forums, go to your local fish clubs, talk to store owners. Local fish stores often have contacts of people they're trying to get rid of tanks, and sometimes they'll let you cut them out as the middleman and go straight to the source. But again, I know Craigslist is a huge option for a lot of people. Utilize your resources and don't settle unless you find just a gem. Now that's kind of the bonus tip for you, is sometimes you're gonna find such a good deal you just have to jump on it. So my last tip, the bonus tip, don't be afraid to drive a little ways. I have been known to drive over an hour specifically to go pick up an aquarium, but it was what I wanted. And that ties into I wasn't gonna settle. I found something I wanted. I knew it would work for me. The price was right. I wanted it bad. So guys, that's what I have for you tonight, is just a quick video on some 5.5 tips on purchasing secondhand tanks, is that they can be such a great asset and great option for a new starting hobbyist that doesn't have the money to go buy a brand new tank off the shelf. So thanks again, guys. I'm Trent Wel-Don with Wel-Don Aquatics. Good luck on your hunt for your secondhand tank.